Well, I haven't been on haven't been on YouTube in quite some time, all summer long, I guess. A few people have been emailing me wondering if I'm still alive. I'm still here. Haven't been able to do anything in my shop all summer long. I've been driving luggage truck, which is a big semi van, back and forth to Seward to Anchorage, round and round and round. I put thousands of miles a week just delivering luggage. And the problem was I was also loading and unloading luggage, and I blew the rotator cuff on this arm. 8 points of damage. One of them is a complete separation. So I switched arms to this arm, and now I've torn something underneath here that hurts constantly. So now I'm going to have to have surgeries this winter, I guess. I'm trying to get workman's comp claim going, which is going nowhere at the moment with the company. I'm going to have to call the labor board eventually if they don't get going on something, because I've already had an MRI of this shoulder that's got to be paid for, and I'm going to need an MRI underneath on this side. But the money's been pretty decent. It's about the easiest money I've made just driving a truck, but the damage was pretty bad, having to load all that luggage, with thousands of pieces of luggage a week. And my 63-year-old shoulders just weren't going to hack all that, I guess. So no work's gone on in the shop. Don't even hardly have any days off. One month I was only home one day. And my bus back there has been running me in and out of Anchorage. Been putting way more strain on that bus than it's had in probably decades. But it hasn't complained. I've been happy. It's been just doing its job. Battery did crap out on me once, but that's no big deal. But yeah, considering how much wear and tear I'm putting on it, it's cooperating at the moment, which is good, because I won't have any time to fix anything if it breaks. But I've got something like middle of September, about when it ends for the tourist season, and I'll be off for the winter, so I'll finally be able to get in the shop here and do some work. But the surgeries is going to have my shoulders. I guess they're talking about 4 months of rehab on a torn rotator cuff, so that's going to mess up most of my winter. I don't know how much how bad that's going to be, but if I can come out here and work at all. But I've spot welded on lots of pieces on this front end for the tr3, so I could maybe finish welding them without putting too much stress on myself. Things like that, because everything's basically just kind of spotted in. So, and I've got that new TIG welder to play with, so try to learn my way around that. And I've ordered some parts. Making this money, at least I've been able to order some parts. I ordered from Rimmer Brothers the kit for mounting the body to the chassis, and some other small bits and parts. Funny thing is, I can get stuff sent all the way from England here for pretty much the same or a little less than ordering from Moss, and having them charge me all that handling charge and stuff that they do, which is kind of a joke. But Rimmer Brothers doesn't charge that, so shit, I'm having to bring stuff clean out of England easier. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me, but that's what I'm doing. And so I've been able to order some parts. I've got some more parts to order, but at least making money all summer long. I've got a bit of a bank account now, so I can do some things this winter. Yeah, and I got customers' engines still to work on. They're waiting, and I know my bus is going to want something here pretty soon for all of its work. So there's no rest for me, I guess. But anyway, I got a short bit of video here that was taken last, I don't even know when, winter or spring or something, that I haven't put out there. So I'm going to put that on here and at least have something to view, and hopefully get back to my car here when I can. But I guess had to stop and make money. The evils of life, I guess. If you're gonna do this sort of thing, you got to have money. All right, more later. Well, starting to finally get back to doing a little bit of work to the Triumph. Had to rearrange shit around here. I've been sick for the last couple of weeks. Still got a cough. I'm starting to think in a new direction and working on this body. I've been welding on bits and pieces, and then I started thinking that if I get things too completed on middle section, front section, and tail section, they're probably not going to fit together very well. So the midsection, I decided to bolt in these rails and start kind of mocking things up, seeing how they fit. Once I get, I'll put the doors on it and start seeing how things are going to come together, because then I can do some final welding. So I'm just thinking that, considering this bit of car, this bit of car, and that bit of car never made one car. So guess I'll start doing the pre-fitments. Been messing around up front here a little bit, set the nose back on it. Man, that's really destroyed. I got the other nose down in Oregon yet, but I haven't been able to figure out how to get it up here. So at the moment, it's sitting in my mom's house. This is the original nose. Actually, I'm going to see how much of this I can straighten. I've been trying to hone my body working skills, which aren't the best. Well, I never claimed to be a panel beater, but I'm having to be for this thing. So anyway, I'll bring you back for some more highlights. Well, I'm back again for a while. I've been training and dealing with my CDL driver's license and what the bureaucracy is now doing to it just to even keep that license. Turned into a pain in the ass. I mean, I didn't realize I was opening up a Pandora's box and letting all the monkeys out. But I think I got them stuffed back in there today so I can continue on with my livelihood. But I've been doing a little work to the car here and there, but I haven't been really filming much. Just been hit or miss here working on it. But lately I've just been doing metal work, body work, finishing work, and working on these fenders, straightening up, cleaning up areas and stuff. But there's where since this is a later front end, a 59, and my car is a 55, I don't have these divots here. And like I see in Chef Tush's new project, he may have to be beating the divots in, and I just got done beating the divots out. But that's how smooth I've been able to get it so far. I'm pretty happy with my work. I never claimed to be a panel beater, but I'm sure getting there. The whole front of this fender was all beat up like a lot of them are, and I've gotten it I'm really close to metal finish. I don't think I'm really that good, but I'm trying, and still got to get on my TIG welding skills so I can finish welding up all those patches I put in. And been watching a lot of Carter's Customs. He's the one that really does the metal finish. But there's what she looks like so far. I'm kind of proud of myself, actually. I wish I had that nose, though, that Tush has got. Mine is rougher than a cob. I mean, this is horrible. I do have another front end down in Oregon with my mom that's in better shape. Not as beat as this one, but I do have a perfect wide mouth front end. You want to trade, Tush? I'm gonna try to fix this just to try to hone my skills. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off, but I can't make it any worse than it already is. So, and I have another one, so yeah, I guess it'd be good practice. And who knows, maybe I can iron that out, but I don't know. So yeah, that's what I'm tinkering on, is beating on the fenders, trying to get things a little nicer, and a little welding here and there, but not a huge amount. This one I got to start in. I've just stripped off all the paint. This one's really beat up really bad, and a lot of damage up in here. And I think it's got at least 6 or 7 paint jobs on it. I'm just using a paint scraper and literally scraping that white paint off. It's so thick. And running into Bondo, there's damage here. And so, pretty good fender though overall. I do have one patch I got to put in down there that somebody brazed in a patch, and I'll redo that properly. But this is the nicest fender I've got, and it's actually not that bad. I've also been working on the center section, putting my spot welder to use and getting everything firmed up. This piece is all welded in now, and so this is starting to look pretty good. I hopefully be able to take it out of traction here pretty soon. I think I'm getting close. I got to do some repairing. I got to cut out some pieces here, and same over here. So I kind of want to do that while it's in this frame. But this frame's starting to take up a lot of room in the shop here, so if I can get those things done, then I can get that piece out of there, and should hold its shape, because before it was just so floppy loose it couldn't hold its shape. And this summer I should be able to start gluing this bits of body back together again. Anyway, more later. Well, I got the passenger side fender off, and there's actually the other fender I had is from the old V8 race car. Man, it's sort of a toss-up of which one is more easily saved. They both have their problems. This one's rotted through here, and I cut out, there was a patch down there and I cut it out, but it's going to need a whole lot more cut out. It's heavily pitted there, and pretty heavily pitted up where that seal goes. Big braze spot there. Of course, a lot of dings and dents. Mirror hole, it's got to be full, and it's all dented, and the whole leading edge is all dented up. The race car fender doesn't need any repair along in here. It's got some dings and dents too, but a little bit better condition. There's a big glop of weld and damage there, where this one doesn't have that. And some holes, extra holes that were drilled by the mounting holes where this had no inner fender welds with that V8, so I'd have to weld those up. That's easy. But of course down here it's got problems too. It's rusted clean through and heavily pitted, and it's dented up right here. I need to be straightened out a little bit. I think I can probably take it off about where I got that line through the paint brushed off. So it looks like there was a buildup of crap in there right here. So anyway, if I take it off up here, that would eliminate most everything. Just a small bit of bother right here, which I should be able to straighten out okay. Build a new lower flange. Yeah, I know you can buy these lower pieces, but they're $250 a piece, and then you got to get them here and pay the handling charges. So that's just an absolutely flat piece of metal, and I wouldn't take off this edge. This has got a wire in it, so I'd probably take it off, somewhere along in here and just weld it. Might rewrap the wire here, or I might go buy it. I don't know yet. So this fender here seems like the better candidate. Like I say, it's sort of almost 6 one way, half a dozen the other, but found some more damage up here with a bunch of mud. And, I don't know. I think I will switch over to the old race car fender. Hang that one on the wall for right now, just in case it decides it's worse. That's the best I can do for all this, but I'm also going to have to, I got to cut this whole area out around that where the hood tie down is, and this is heavily pitted and rusted through in places, so I'm going to have to replace the strips along here. And the rust just never ends. This fender here is quite nice. It was all dinged up front here too, and I'm pretty happy with how I got it ironed out. And it had some holes drilled here. Must have had like a radot racing mirror probably, but I welded up the holes, and I got to do a little smoothing there yet, but pretty good. The overall, this fender, I think it has a little rust that I'm going to have to repair behind the lower part of the wing there, but overall, not very much. This wing's actually really quite nice. And the two rear ones I got for the back fenders, I got a pair of quite nice ones. But yeah, this nose here, this is really well, hopefully I'll get the other one up from Oregon, but anyway, just no shortage of work. I'm going to start driving tour buses this summer, to get to making some money. I make money in my shop here, but not a great amount, and driving tour buses actually pays quite well, and you only work for part of the year. So anyway, yeah, it's still winter out there. You can see it through the window. Plenty of snow. Anyway, more later. Well, I've done quite a bit actually. Didn't film it, but I've just been tinkering on it here and there in between jobs and trying to kind of true this front end up. I did get this one pocket for one of the bonnet latches. It was all bad shape, and somebody put hood pins in the middle, which I hate. So that's been spotted in, and I got a strip right along here that's rusted. I got this piece here got to be put in. But working on these fenders, it was torn loose back here, and got that welded. But getting all these holes to line up and replacing, I'll be eventually replacing them all with these newer ones. I got 2 more here to do. But boy, being a hand-built car, there's variations in all this stuff. Interchanging fenders and stuff like that isn't a direct bolt-on application without holes lining up. So I've been working with that, and got this fender straightened out pretty good. It was hit up here pretty hard, but I got it looking pretty nice now. But I got a buckle right here. I think when it got hit in the front, it pooched this part out, the top of the nose cone. So I got to figure out how to pull this little area back into place. Oh, here's just, and running into more rust, of course. I think I've identified most of it, but boy, it's still spots all over the place. And aligning these fenders, I've been trying to do some alignment to make sure everything's going to fit together well with the nose cone and the hood and the cowl panel there I have gotten off. There's going to be a ton of alignment trying to make all this work together good. I'm pretty happy with all this. I'm really happy with how I got this smoothed out pretty good compared to the big divots that were there for the headlights of a later front end, of which it sounds like Chef Tush is going to have to put those divots in earlier front end for a later car. I'm here to knocking them out, and he's putting them back. But anyway, a little bit of progress here and there. Like to have that small mouth nose that he's got with that one other TR. It's in way better, mine's in pretty rough shape, and I've got the other one down in Oregon still I got to pick up. I got a really nice wide mouth one though, it's almost perfect. You want to trade, Tush? Well, just a little kind of a recap of what I'm doing, I guess. Trying to do a little of something. Since apparently winter is, I think I slept through summer because it's winter again. We're heading for a record snowfall. Oh, yay. Alright, more later. Well, we're back for another riveting installment of this beat-up TR3. I've been playing with the nose a little bit and fitting a few things, and the body line, hold it up in position. The body line on this side looks nice and straight on both pieces. Problem with that side is it's was so smashed and wrecked, and like I was showing you before, I decided to do a little bit of panel beating on it, and actually I ironed out his somewhat of a form, but it's not. This whole headlight's tipped down and it's all messed up in here, and you know, the gaps are really screwed up. And like I said, I still got another front end sitting down at my mom's house in Oregon. I got to get up here somehow. And a closer inspection of it, the picture she took of it, of course it's got some damage too, nothing like this, but there's some damage on this nacelle and down and kind of in front of it a little. I don't know quite how bad it is without actually being there, but if this nacelle is that messed up on the other front end, I can blow the solder out of there like they've already done to that other front end. There's no solder. I can see light down in between there, so there's no solder left. Undo the spot welds, and I could put this nacelle on that front end and then resolder, redo the joints just like original. So if I have to go that route, yeah, so be it. I can go that route. But still trying to see how close I have this front end. It's hard to tell with this really bent up front apron. So I brought in the other front apron from the 1960, which would have been originally on this sheet metal front end. Let's see how it looks. And the body lines on this side, man, are just almost laser straight. But over here, take a look at that. The fender seems to be tipped out there. I don't know if you can really see it, but I'll have to see about the fender why it's tipped out like that, because this edge seems to be square on this front end. It's also tipped out up here, and I know the fender's bowed out here a little bit. So yeah, I've got some work to do, but I figured I'd use this front end for kind of a comparison, because it seems to be in good condition and have not really been damaged, so to speak, very lightly. The paint on it though is 20 mils thick. I mean, it's falling off the front. It is so thick. But I don't see any Bondo from underneath or anything, so it's a pretty nice front end. So Mike H., this front end could be yours. How about you, Tush? In for a trade? As usual, we're all too far apart to make a reasonable deal. But anyway, that's what I'm playing with right at the moment. I'm changing oil on my bus right now, because the poor little bus is. I'm running in and out of Anchorage right now in bus training, and my little VW bus is struggling with the traffic. I mean, it's getting there, but it's, you know, I don't want to push it very hard, so I'm putting in the heavyweight oil a little bit early. I put in aeromotive oil. Since it's an airplane engine, basically it's flying really close to the ground. So Anyway, I guess I'll get on that now. Yeah, I'll tinker with this a little bit more, but I need to get back to what I was doing. Got enough for a video, so I'll try to get that out tonight. More later.